If you're a foreign investor or an international entrepreneur who opened a US LLC to do business on the American market, you're one step away from the finish line. The last thing you'll need to do to become a fully fledged US business is to open a US business bank account. But can foreign nationals open a business bank account in America? The answer is yes. However, it's not as simple as it would be for a US citizen. In this video, we will teach you how to open a US business bank account for your LLC, even without American citizenship and SSN or ITIN. But before we start, take a second to like this video and subscribe to the Non-Resident Investor channel. That way, you'll be the first to get notified when we publish new videos and will also help support the channel. What you need to open a US bank account. Banks are some of the most risk-averse institutions in the world, and approaching them as a foreigner doesn't do you any favors. In fact, not being a US citizen makes you a high-risk client. However, that doesn't mean you won't be able to open a bank account for your LLC. It just means the banks will put you under more scrutiny than they would a native business person. That's why the first and most important thing is to ensure your business is bulletproof before trying to open a bank account. That goes for both your LLC's paperwork and business model. Some banks may refuse to work with you if you operate in an industry they deem high risk or problematic, like gambling, crypto, or adult. When it comes to the documentation you'll need, the first thing you must present is your LLC's certificate and articles of organization that you get after opening your company. Besides that, you'll also need your LLC's operating agreement and the EIN confirmation letter you can receive from the IRS. Once you prepare all of these documents, you can present them alongside a valid ID to submit an account creation request. And if you're applying for an account at an online bank, you'll also need to present a professional photo of yourself. Some banks will also ask you to cover certain processing fees or pay a fixed deposit. So always double-check with your specific bank whether you need to cover any additional costs before submitting a request. Now that you have everything ready, there are two ways to open a US business bank account: offline and online. Let's take a deeper look at each of them. How to open a US bank account offline. Most traditional banks follow the Meet Your Client corporate rule. That means you'll need to show up in person to open your bank account. For your meeting, you'll need to prepare everything we mentioned earlier in this video and sit through an interview with your designated banker. Whether you'll get your account opened or not will be based on the outcome of your interview. The good news is that even the biggest US banks work with foreign nationals. If you do get an account at a traditional bank like Morgan & Chase, you'll enjoy the same perks and have the same services at your disposal as US citizens. This can prove particularly valuable if you ever decide to apply for a business loan. But if you live halfway across the world, flying over to the US just to talk to a bank representative may be out of the question. If that's the case, you have another option. How to open a US bank account online. If you want to open a bank account for your LLC online, it's easiest to do so at one of the many fintech banks out there. Opening an account at an online bank like Wise, Mercury, or Relay is simpler than at a brick-and-mortar institution, but there are still a few hurdles you need to go through to get accepted. For starters, go to your chosen bank's website and create an account. While doing so, you'll need to present the documents we talked about earlier in this video. In most cases, all you'll need to do is scan them and email them to your bank provider. The best part about these banks is that transferring funds takes just a few clicks. These banks also have excellent e-banking applications, meaning you can do everything online without having to wrestle with a mountain of paper invoices. However, all of these banks have a hefty list of banned countries, so double-check their terms and conditions before trying to open an account. We suggest you try Mercury first, though. This online bank offers excellent conditions and even issues a business credit card you can use to build your credit score. Remember that even these online banks change their terms and conditions regularly and scrutinize their clients as much as traditional banks. That's why it's best to consult a professional with previous experience in opening bank accounts for foreigners to maximize your odds of success. If you need help opening a US bank account, we at Nonresident Investor can help you. Our team specializes in helping clients from all across the world open businesses in the US. We can take care of everything from registering a US LLC to opening a bank account for your business. If you don't feel comfortable doing everything yourself and would like professional help, get in touch with us through the link in the description below. Or, if you're not sure which U.S. bank to open an account with, check out our video on the best U.S. banks for non-residents.